I read a tweet I guess it was this morning. Guy says, ICT, it's time for me to go. You know, you're talking about futures. I'm only in Forex. I've learned how to trade. Thank you. I'm out of here. Okay, wonderful. That's exactly what I'm wanting. I want independence. I'm not heartbroken over that. All right, I'm done, ICT. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm making money. Appreciate you. See you. I'm not going to You're leaving me. I want you to fucking leave me, okay? I want you to leave me happy, satisfied, profitable, knowing what the fuck you're doing. No regrets. That's exactly what a mentor should want. That's what you should want from your mentor. Not, keep paying me. I love you. Keep paying me. Fuck out of here, man. You will get what you put into this year. That's what you're going to get. If you half-ass it, that's the result you're going to get. If you pour yourself into it and really be diligent about what you're doing, studying and focusing and being organized with your journaling, I'm telling you, it's going to totally transform every aspect of your analysis, your thought processes as a trader, and your executions will be much cleaner. You'll be more refined. You won't make a rush judgment. Your executions will be much fewer, but more of a quality entry versus, I'm afraid I'm going to miss it. Let me just jump in here now in case it runs away without me. Or it went down to where you should have went, but then I want to see if it really reacts there the way I'm expecting price. And then it does, and you chase a little bit. That stuff will be refined, and you'll see less of that. Only if you put the work into it. And be okay with the outcome. This is where you want to mess up. This is where you want to find out you did it wrong. You don't want to do that with your live account, trading with a funded account or your own money. You don't want to discover that you don't know how to manage yourself or your emotions or the psychological weight of being in risk. You don't want to learn that while you're out there in it. You want to master that progressively so that way you're not influenced. Once you've done months of back testing and tape reading, and you've done months of demoing, wait a minute, I need to make money right now. You're going to fucking fail, okay? You want the honesty? You want the truth? You're going to fail. I'm not here to see you fail. I don't want any of you to fucking fail. I want you to get out there and fucking kill it. Replace your fucking job. Double that income. I want you to have all that and more. But I'm a practical realist. I know that that doesn't work like that. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of unlearning. And you all have things that I'm not aware of, which are character flaws. I don't know what your character flaw is. I don't know if you're impatient, impulsive, reckless, doubtful, stubborn, not willing to take a loss. That's a hard one for everybody. Can you be wrong and not lose your fucking mind about it all and think, oh, I got to get it all back right now? I'm going to put you in a demo trade this year. I'm going to tell you to put this trade on. When I tell you to do that, do not do that with a live account. Because I'm going to put you in a losing trade. And I'm going to close the stream at the end of it and tell you don't try to get it back until the next live stream. And I want you to think about what that feels like and if it was real money. How hard that would be. How fucking devastating and irritating and just, it's like a mosquito bite. You know it's there. You know damn well you shouldn't scratch it. Because if you scratch it, this makes it worse. And that's exactly what you experience when you have a losing trade with live funds and you did not learn how to trade. You're going to go back to scratching it. And the only thing it does, it makes it bigger and it's just worse. That's what drawdown does. And then drawdown becomes what? A blown account, a lost funded account, regret, misery. All of that stuff's avoidable. You don't see it like that now because you haven't endured it yet. But some of you think that you're never going to have that problem, or you'll be fine if it happens. No, you won't. You won't be fine. You'll be marred and scarred. And now you're damaged goods. Because now you have to trade with that the rest of your life. I'm going to tell you something. This is why I like listening to people that actually trade with real money and have been doing it longer than a couple years or in recent, couple months. Most people on YouTube are just now getting into a funded account. They never had their own real account, but they're all authorities now. I love listening to people that's been doing it at least half as long as I have and longer. And I love listening to their wisdom of what they had to conquer in themselves. I don't give a shit about how they trade because I'm not interested in that. I don't think there's anything better for me to do except for what I've done. Now, I would say that regardless of how I trade. So what happens is my students hear that and they think, yeah, I'm going to go over here and tell this guy that's trading Elliott Wave, you're a fucking clown. You're not trading order blocks of fair value gas, bitch. You're nobody. You're street money. I don't tell you to do that. I don't want you to do that. That's stupid. Okay. But I would have this mindset regardless if I was trading moving average crossovers and if I was consistently profitable. That's just me. That's my confidence. That's a strength in me. But it was a character flaw when I was 20 because I was parading around like a fucking peacock on America Online with banter that said I was smarter than I really was, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And the market showed me I didn't know what I was doing, and that was very painful. You don't want to have that experience because as a man, there was years ago I would have never admitted that. In my early 30s, it was just coming to the point where I was like, you know what? Yeah, that was embarrassing. I shouldn't have done that. But now I realize there's benefit in telling you as a student, you don't want to have that experience. It's shameful, number one. It's something that is, in my opinion, it's repulsive behavior because nobody really wants to see somebody gloating. Like, hey, look at me. I sometimes facetiously play around with it on Twitter, okay? But when you listen to me and I'm talking to you and I'm teaching you, you can hear the reality, okay? I mean, yes, I think I'm better than the average bear, but I'm not bragging, okay? And I don't want any of you to adopt that mindset either. But when you have character flaws, it's easy to, number one, observe them when you get in this industry. All of those character flaws are going to shape you as the trader. For instance, when I first started, 1992, I was scared to death of putting on that first trade. I was so scared. Like I wanted to get in there, and a couple things moved without me. Soybean meal, I was looking at that market, and it moved, and I was afraid to do anything. I just let it go. I looked at cocoa. These are all commodity markets because that's how I started as a commodity trader. And cocoa moved, and I was like, damn, if I would have done that, I would have made $500. And I was like, okay, shit. And how the fuck did I get into orange juice? Think about it. I was afraid to enter. So my weakness, my character flaw was what? Doubt in myself, which was realistic because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So my subconscious was saying, bitch, you need to sit down. You don't know what the hell you're doing. But the gambler in me, who was in control, said, I got to do something because I just let 2 winning trades go and I didn't do shit. Well, 3 strikes, you're out, right? So I looked at orange juice. I said, oh, it's going to move. I'm afraid to get in orange juice because what happens if it has a limit move? It's really thin. That should have been the reason why I shouldn't be trading it. But I was saying, oh, well, I want to get in there. I've never traded options before. Never had any idea what the fuck I was doing options. No idea. I said, well, I think it's going to move. Let me buy some protection. I'll pay $1,500 for my option. That was the premium I paid. Plus the $100 fucking commission that Fox Investments trade cost me. That's what it cost me for one contract. $100 fucking. That's an IQ test in itself. But I plunked my money down. I missed the soybean meal trade. I missed the cocoa trade. I ain't missing orange juice. I'm in there. But just in case I'm wrong, let me do it with an option. I paid the $1,500 premium. very next day, orange juice opens up. My option premium is now $750. No, that doesn't mean I made $750 for those that don't know what I'm talking about. It means that I paid $1,500 for something now that is worth $750. It took one fucking sleep, one night of sleep to lose half of what the premium was I paid. What the fuck just happened? Here's what happened. I started trading with real money before I knew how to trade. And then I traded impulsively because I was fearful I was going to miss the next trade that was the third one in the line of two previous winning ideas that I didn't execute on. And I made a stupid choice of listening to some fucking clown on another message board said, you don't want to trade with futures because the underlying risk is unlimited. But with options, you can only lose what you paid. Whoa, what do you fucking do? Here you go. Here's a perfect fucking poster child of a fucking loser trade right here. Boom. Everything wrong. Impulsiveness, trying to get in. I have to prove that I'm trading with a live account. I got to get in there. I want to see results. And I did everything I shouldn't have done. I knew nothing about options. The fucking option was overpriced. The volatility built up into it. It was too much. The premiums were expensive. And the option writer made 50% overnight. And I lost half my money. And in that one transaction, it took me 20 minutes to immediately get on the fucking phone and say, listen, sell it at market, send me the rest in a check. One trade. And immediately I shut that bitch down. It scared the hell out of me. And I'm going to tell you something. For some of you students who've been around for a while, you heard this fucking story more times than you want to hear it. But I'm going to tell you something else. There's people that need to fucking hear it. You've learned the lesson. But new people are coming to me all the time. And they see what I'm able to do. They see me executing. They see me calling the market live now. And they're thinking I'm a fucking superhero. Like, this guy can't do anything fucking wrong. Wrong! Wrong! I am a human being. I am capable of doing it wrong. And when I first started, I was the perfect poster child of doing everything fucking wrong. And I'm telling you, it is so hard to overcome the damage that shit did. Oh, it's only one transaction. No. When you're obsessively compulsive like I am, like that's like my wife cheating on me. It's equivalent to that. It feels like, what the fuck? And you can't undo it. It's 30 fucking years ago. And I can remember what it felt like. I felt gutted. I'm like, there has to be something wrong with this fucking data. There's no way that's accurate. No, it's right. I'm like, what the fuck? $750 back then, folks. Let me tell you something. I didn't even earn half that in a week. Yeah. It was bad. Like, that was like, what the hell? It took the wind out of my sails. Let me tell you something. It's stories like this where people that are traders today that have made money and they're consistently profitable and they're worth listening to. I love listening to that because that's what shapes who they are. It's the Mickey Mouse motherfuckers that are constantly talking about how they made money. Oh, look at the withdrawal I just did. Here's the fucking trade I just did. Here's the 50R trade I did. When's the last time you fucking did something wrong? And what did you learn from it? That's what I'm interested in. Because anybody can get lucky. I got lucky. I got lucky for a while and made money. That doesn't mean you're skillful. But if you had a adverse experience in this industry and you were able to overcome that and turn it around and use it as a strength. Thought I forgot about what I was going with earlier, right? My weakness in the beginning was fear of getting in. My fear of trading predominantly was founded on fear of entering. I was afraid I was going to do that part wrong. So most of my work in my whole trading career was looking for an arsenal of ways to get in. Why did I need so many entry techniques? Because I was afraid of missing the move. I'm not missing shit. I got a fucking 12 gauge in my hand every time the market opens up. I got a dozen ways to get in that motherfucking move and not chase. That's what I show you all the time when I'm doing pyramid entries. I'm showing you that every one of these can be the individual model that you employ, and not one of them is superior to the other ones. Some of you think, oh, I want to learn how to do that pyramiding. When I want you to just focus on the fact that any one of those pyramid entries, and what I mean by that is when I put a trade on and I'm adding more to it, every single time I do that, that would be the very instance if I hadn't traded it, entered it earlier at all, I would use that as my primary entry. If you can't justify your pyramid entry on the basis of that, you're gambling, you're guessing. Every one of your entries, when you're adding to a position, it should be able to stand on its own, as that's the sole reason why you enter the trade. If you were never entered or built in a position prior to that entry. And when I learned how to pyramid, it was not taught to me that way. I was just taught, as soon as you can afford to do so, buy it. That was Ken Roberts' approach. And I lost money trading Ken Roberts. I was never profitable doing anything with his bullshit. It was a stupid fucking, it was an introduction to trading. That's all it was. And it introduced me to failure, toxic thinking. It produced everything I'm trying to keep you from having. I'm trying to be, if I could go back in time, I'm trying to be the very person I wish I would have met. Because I would have listened to everything I'm telling you to do and avoid doing. I would have done that. After seeing what I'm able to show you and call beforehand, execute, prove it, if I existed as a person outside of myself in 1992, I would have threw that fucking book in the fucking trash on November 5th and immediately just poured everything into what I'm trying to give to you. And I would have looked at no one else. I'm not trying to cultivate a hive mentality where you only listen to me. I'm just saying, I know what I needed and I couldn't find it in anything else or anyone else back then. And the resources that you have available, like the fact that you're listening to me right now, you're all doing something right now. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're working, maybe you're working out, maybe you're getting ready to fall asleep. Maybe some of you fell asleep already. And some of you are sitting there diligently with a notepad writing down things and listening to this and thinking, wow, I never looked at it like that. Wow, I didn't think he had hardships before. I just figured he knew everything and never had a problem. No, it was a lot of work. A lot of prayer got me here. But my fear of missing a move and fear of doing it wrong was my first barrier. And I plunged in with some stupid shit as my first transaction, knowing not one thing about options. Nothing. I knew nothing about it. I learned a lot waking up the next day. Fuck options. I ain't doing that. So my career began as pursuing precision entry techniques, because my pursuit was, I have to overcome my fear of picking the wrong entry point. And now I'm known all around the world for having all kinds of highly precise entry points and techniques to engage the marketplace. So I turned my weakness into my strength today. Think about that. That stuff comes from someone that went through the trenches. And I love listening to seasoned traders that share observations about their own development, the things that they endured, what they turned around on their own trading, what benefited them, and how it was contrary to what they first got into the industry thinking this is what they should have focused on versus what they later found out was more appropriate, what should have been a majority of their time and concern early on. And I try to do that in my teachings and in my lectures with all of you. And I know sometimes it's dry. Okay, sometimes it's really boring. And I think the reason why you guys like these Twitter spaces, because number one, you get to listen to Ratchet ICT, the unfiltered me, where you see and hear my chemical imbalances when they occur. In the YouTubes, I filter that out, and that's why it's boring. Like it's like, I mean, I get it. It's a boring librarian kind of guy talking to you. Here, you know, when you hear me get passionate about it, you're like, oh shit, you know, you perk your ears up. It breaks up the monotony of the learning, and also introduces reality. Like there's a real person that's talking to you. You know, I had real downside. I had real adversities. I lost real money. I've blown several accounts early on, chasing things that I thought were the last bastion of technical analysis that, you know, I better jump on it right now or it's going to stop working. Stop thinking that way. The market's going to book the way the market's going to book. It matters not how many people are buying or selling it. It's going to do what it's going to do. And it's seeking liquidity, and it's rebalancing in any inefficiency. If it's not doing that, it's going to consolidate. That's it. So when we sit down and we're looking at markets, the number one criteria is, should you be trading today? Is it likely to be ugly, consolidating and choppy? And I've done a lot of work to produce a list of days where I don't think it's good for me to do that. When's it likely to be choppy and consolidating and just do nothing, where it could just chop you up and go, you know, sideways? The day before a high impact news event, like non-farm payroll, a rate announcement, CPI. Oh, but ICT, I made so much money on the day before. I don't give a fuck. I'm talking about me, my personal experience. I'm looking for a specific element in price that I like to operate in. You want to chase whatever you're chasing, you made money? Well done. Who am I to say that you didn't make money? I'm not showing up on your fucking channel. I'm not going in your comment section. Do you see me going around anybody else's channel saying, dude, you're a clown. You're not trading my stuff, so therefore you're an idiot. But you have people on the outside coming to my audience. I'm not in your audience. You're in my audience. And you're saying that this doesn't work, that doesn't work, and there's no proof, and everybody's making money and fucking bringing their receipts and being interviewed by these companies. It's not me doing that. They're not photoshopping, you know, funded account certificates. The fucking companies themselves are interviewing them. You see their names on the leaderboards up there. They're getting paid, okay? So what the fuck? I think that more is made about image in this industry than practicality. And I have tried to be as practical as humanly possible and still keep people awake. Because, you know, there's a lot of dryness to this. And in the beginning, it was all dry when I first started. It was all books, it was all dry. There was no videos unless you purchased them. And you didn't have the access to people that, number one, if they were profitable, they ain't telling you shit. They're not telling you shit. They're not teaching you nothing. They're not teaching you their best stuff. Fuck that shit. They finally found it, right? And that's understandable. But the way they marketed everything back in the 90s and the 80s and such, you know, they made it seem like, you know, they themselves are, you know, the only thing ever, which is what everybody else says they think I'm doing. I'm not saying I'm the only one that can be profitable, that my students are the only ones that are profitable. I'm the only one that gets to the heart of why price books. But you can be profitable with flipping a quarter. I'm not arguing that. I just wrestle with these opinions that are strong-armed against me and my community, where they say, oh, there is no word that's not going to be mentioned, and we're not going to have, you know, consistency and precision when we can. Like, these people out there in this industry are, like, at some point, it makes you wonder, like, are they really this opinionated, or are they being encouraged to just put out there misinformation? Because anybody that sits on the fence and just take somebody else's opinion, whether it be about me and what I teach and my students or anything, and they let anybody else frame